everyone. Let's go ahead and get started in any comfortable seated position. You can have hips propped up, you can have any mudra that works for you that you typically start class with. Remember, as we go through the practices and you're starting any kind of meditation, seated practice, physical practice, starting the same way really does help to drop into the body. So if you work with a particular mudra, I would recommend working with that at the beginning of every class. And otherwise, if you're not feeling connected to one or the other, you can always have first finger and thumb together with the palms up. Go ahead and take a few moments to settle into your physical body. We're going to use the breath to facilitate more relaxation on the exhale, relaxing any unnecessary tension on the eyes, the jaw, the shoulders. Relax around the navel. Also start to consider even relaxing or feeling some movement towards the back of your torso and back rib cage as you breathe in. So not just the front of the rib cage, but the back of your rib cage. Notice your inhalations getting longer without putting a lot of physical effort into it. Start to get more in tune to the breath and to any sensations in your body. You'll notice your mind slowing down a little bit. The nervous system starts shifting. As you stay mindful of the breath and those sensations, we'll start to bring some attention now to our intention for class. This could be something you'd like to manifest in terms of your health or well-being. It could be a spiritual aspiration you have within your own heart. And as you continue to focus on that intention, take the next 3 breaths with awareness at the heart center, right behind the sternum. Palms together in front of the heart center. We ask and trust that our practice today supports this intention and moves it towards its fullest expression. We'll chant Hari Om 3 times together. Inhale. Start you off in downward facing dog today. Once you get the hips back and up, take your time, do a little free movement, pedaling the feet, shifting the hips. And start regulating your breath so you're still taking about a 5-second breath in, 5-second breath out. Good morning, Gloria. Welcome to class. And the next couple breaths, get a little bit further into areas of the body that might need tension for you today. This might be along the spine, upper back, lower back, maybe somewhere in a joint, muscles. And we come forward into the top of a push-up. And take about 30 seconds here. You can bring the knees down at any point. Make those little adjustments in the upper back. Get in touch with those deep muscles that wrap around the rib cage toward the abdominal wall. Move through all the fingertips. Check in with your breathing pattern. We're going to shift our way over into a side plank. If any wrist issues, you can always do this on your forearms. You can also modify with a knee on the floor. But let's say 15 seconds on the right side for Revolving. Stabilize. Little lift in the hip. Strong upper back. Strong muscles along the spine. And transition through plank into the other side. From plank pose, go ahead and take the knees down wide. Take a few breaths in child's pose next. Keep the arms stretched out. Relax the neck muscles. Nest the rib cage between the thighs. And allow the spine to go into a little bit of flexion here. Conscious breathing. And then bring the head and chest forward. So this exercise, we've done it in the past. You're basically going into a downward facing dog with supporting on one arm. So let me just demonstrate first, that way you don't have to crane your neck to see what we're going to do. It's a simple movement, but every inhalation we're going to end up in plank pose. Every exhalation, you take the hips back, always bend your knees as much as you'd like, and then a little twist at the waist to reach toward your opposite ankle. So left hand to right ankle, and we go back in plank, and then we alternate. Okay, so that's it. And then we're going to do 3 times on each side. So come into the top of a push-up, take an inhalation, exhale, lift hip, left hand, right ankle, little twist toward the right, inhale, full plank pose, exhale, lift hip, right hand, left ankle. That's it. It's 1 round. Back to center, plank, do 2 more on each side. And when you go into plank, there may be a tendency for you to sink into the hip or the lower back. Keep the integrity there in your hips and rib cage when you come forward each time. And that strong lift in the lower belly, and that twist right at the pit of the navel when you're twisting and reaching for the ankle. And also notice the chest turning toward the wall that you're twisting toward. Last round. And then we'll come back to center with plank. We'll bring the knees down, bring the knees close together, bring the feet close together. Sit back on heels. Take a couple resting breaths. While we're here, we're going to interlock fingers, have forearms close together. Do that figure 8 movement with forearms and wrists. Loosened up. Reverse that direction. Interlock the fingers, press the palms up toward the sky. Now we're going to take a few breaths here. Check in, make sure you're not jutting the lower front rib cage forward. Keep those muscles in your upper abdominal wall engaged just enough to resist that. And I want you to really focus on the breath coming in and feel like it's creating movement or space right behind that lower front rib cage. So I want you to imagine when you're breathing in, the diaphragm muscle pushing the organs down, dropping, and creating a space above the diaphragm muscle. So as you have this shape in the physical body, as you're breathing in through the nose, doesn't have to be a lot of physical effort, just have the awareness and attention into that space where you feel like the diaphragm muscle drops down, and then right in the deep center of the torso, keeping your awareness there with each inhale and maybe expanding out slightly beyond that center point. It might be challenging for you. You might actually be surprised that you feel like, oh wow, I can't take as full of a breath in as maybe I would typically want to. Then this exercise kind of reveals some of the challenges of accessing that area of our body. It's one of the areas that we tend to hold a lot of physical tension, but also we can have some emotional tension in that space. Take one more breath with that awareness. All right, and we're going to bring the arms down. Now relax the arms. Take a couple resting breaths, but keep your attention on that space. Most of you will notice that you can take a fuller breath in now without the arms overhead. One more breath. Keep your awareness at that center point. Alright. And then we'll slowly open the eyes. And we'll get the left foot forward into a low lunge. Make sure the knee's comfortable. I'm going to mat the floor here, so I'm just going to double up my mat. And then we're going to take lunging windmills next. Make sure the lower half of the body feels stable, so we're not moving the legs back and forth. Next inhalation, sweep the arms back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Continue with that movement at your own pace. Feel a little stretch in the navel there towards and through the inhale. And some compression in the navel toward and through the exhale. Last go around. Next time the arms are up, go ahead and keep them there. Grab your right wrist with your left hand, sink the hip, lift right rib cage, take a lean to the left. And more of that expansive quality inhalation, move through the right sideline and right hip. On the next inhale, come out of the side stretch. And then take the right hand to the floor, straighten back leg, take the twist to the left, left arm straight up towards the sky. Root through the ball onto the left big toe, strong back leg. Check in with your breathing. And on the next inhale, come out of the twist. And we're going to take right foot forward. Take right foot forward, line the toes up. Once you have feet firmly planted, next breath in, come up halfway. Deepen the forward fold, relax the neck muscles. And then next inhale, left foot back. Back knee down from a runner's lunge. Torso comes up. Settle into hips, lower half of the body established. And then start lunging windmills on this side. Good range of motion. motion going for the shoulder joints. So upper back, chest muscles getting freed up. Last pull round, exhale, the arms are up, keep them up. Grab the left wrist, lift and lean to the right. Keep chest nice and squared off toward the front. You may have a tendency to drop the chest toward the floor. Come out of the side stretch and into the twist. Set yourself up, wrist under shoulder, neck joint support. No rush. Hold the shape. Just breathing. Out of the twist on the inhale, into the forward fold on the exhale. Halfway up as you breathe in, and we're going to hang out in Koundinyasana next. Allow that deep forward fold to happen, so you got belly toward thighs, relax neck muscles, grab opposite elbows, twine the arms around each other. If it feels good to do any subtle movement, shifting a little bit, swaying from side to side, turning your head yes or no. And then we'll let the arms hang down. Strong back, belly, and legs on the inhale to come all the way up. Touch palms overhead. You might keep gaze downward. And then end up with arms alongside the body. Take a couple resting breaths here. Find a neutral position for spine, rib cage, hips, and don't lock the knees out. Next, inhale. Arms up. Grab the right wrist. Take a lean to the left. Inhale, center. Grab the left wrist at the top. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Lead the chest on the way down. Next, inhale, bend knees, sink hips, arms sweep forward, up and slightly back. Exhale, fingertips to floor, right foot goes back into a runner's lunge. Back knee down, sweep arms up, lunging crescent moon. Exhale, right hand to floor, left arm full circle here. End up in a twist, back leg straight. Back in reverse with that left arm, full circle back into lunging crescent moon. Exhale, palms down, left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward, top of a push-up. Exhale, lower down with control, chaturanga or ashtanga. Cobra, if you're feeling warmed up enough at this point, upward facing dog and downward facing dog. One full resting breath here. And on your next exhale, left foot will come forward into a runner's lunge. Lunging crescent moon as you inhale. We're going to skip the twist on this side. And we're right into a forward fold on the next exhale. Come up and lean back just for one breath in. Right back into a deep forward fold. Exhale. Utkatasana. Inhale. Fingertips to floor. Right foot goes back from a runner's lunge. Next inhale, lunging crescent moon. Take the twist. Left hand to floor, right arm full circle. Inhale, coming up. Lunging crescent moon. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. Full plank pose when you breathe in. Take your time. Lower down on your exhale. Cobra up dog. Follow through with your breath. One resting breath in downward facing dog. When you're ready on your next exhale, right foot forward. Lunging crescent moon, inhale. And right into the forward fold on the exhale. All the way up on the next breath in. And Tadasana. 1 to 2 full resting breaths here. Take some time for observation. Notice already some significant changes happening in the physical body, condition of the mind. Check in with your breathing pattern. And then we'll keep the left foot forward. We'll take the right foot back about leg length and distance. Angle with the toes, set up for Parsvottanasana. And interlock fingers behind the hips. Got broadening of the collarbones. And stretch for the chest. Engagement in the upper back. Keep that as you take your forward fold over the front leg. Next breath in, torso comes up, strong belly and back. Release the hands, switch the feet. Settle in, square shoulders off, find the mind with the hands. You ready? Exhale, take the forward fold. Keep shoulders squared off toward the floor as best as you can, while keeping that integrity in the back leg and stable hip. Torso comes up. Release the hands. Get left foot forward. We're going to face the long edge of the mat next. Take a stance. We might have to switch the stance a little bit. If arms are out to a T formation, good place to start is getting your ankles a little wider than your elbows. And then turn those left toes out at a slight angle. Bend the left knee. Make sure that knee goes in the same track as your toes. Take right hand to the floor here. Keep this right leg so it's not feeling like you're rolling too much onto the inner edge of the foot here. And you've got enough integrity in the thigh and weight moving through that leg to not put any unnecessary torque or inside pressure in the knee. You should feel a little bit of a stretch, and if you don't, and maybe your left heel is lifting up, you might need to take a wider stance, and that's where you adjust. And then take the twist toward the bent leg. Notice how that feels right from the waist, lower rim of the rib cage, up your spine, between your shoulder blades. Right, you can keep your left hand on that left thigh if that helps you to maintain that twist. If you can keep that twist feeling about the same way as you got now with the support of the hand, and take your arm up and use your right arm and upper back muscles to maintain that twist, that's your second option. Come out of this, you're going to keep that left toe leg in that angle. Turn your right toes at the same angle. It's going to be a little more challenging with balance. Bend your right knee. It's going to feel a little different in this left leg. Get the support of your left arm. Feel that out. Twist toward your bent leg. Sink into that right hip. Test the waters out. Can I transfer the weight from my right arm through my thigh into my left arm and into the floor to maintain that twist in my spine? Alright, now keep your right toes at that slight angle and come all the way up. You're going to need to use these deep muscles in the legs, the thighs, and hips to maintain your balance when you're coming up out of that shape. At the end of every inhale, we have the arms to a T formation. Next exhale, bend left knee, take hand to the floor, twist toward the bent leg. Inhale, back to T formation, vertical. Exhale, and right knee. Back to center. As you continue to do 2 more on each side, pay attention to the signals in and around the knee. If you're feeling tugging or it's too much, you might point your toes in more slightly. Don't overdo it. I feel more of a stretch happening in the belly of the muscles, remember, not toward the joints. Last round, take your time. Come back to center, hands on the hips, look down at your feet, splay your toes out, or splay your heels out now, a little wider than your pinky toe. So the outer edge of your heels a little wider than your pinky toe. You need to inch the feet in a little closer because it feels like a bit much. You can do that. Forward fold, hinge at the hip, fingertips to floor or block. You can also bring palms down. Some of you have the ability to start bending the elbows. Start rounding the back excessively. Come up out of that a little bit. See if there's areas along your spine you can explore. That is going into deep flexion of your upper back. But you will find some flexion happening in the spine. Just be honest with yourself about where the spine is in space. Back to support, torso halfway up, runner's lunge facing the front leg, and then downward facing dog. Let's scoot that front leg back, and then left knee behind left wrist for one-legged pigeon pose. Scoot the right foot back, settle into hips as evenly as you can. And then we'll take a variation here. You have a couple of options. With your left leg forward, you're going to have your right forearm down, elbow under the shoulder. Now when you do that, there's going to be a tendency for a lot of us to sink into our right hip. Keep the hips pretty even. Maintain that as much as you can. Get left hand to thigh first. Kind of like how we worked with that one standing dynamic twist, right? We can keep the left hand here on the thigh and work on the twist as we turn the chest toward the wall on our left. We can also reach back for the bind. If we have the ability to reach back to the inside of our right foot with our left hand, go ahead and do that. Create a taut feeling in the arm by pushing the top of the foot into the hand while lengthening sternum away from belly button at the same time as we're twisting. Bind, come out of the twist. If you've got the bind, careful with the back knee as you curl the back toe under and then take downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Notice if there's a difference in how the hips feel or maybe even your lower back. And then switch sides. Right leg forward. Keep hips even as you scoot that left foot back. And then when you bring that left forearm down, check back in with hips. Right hand on thigh, first option. Second option, reach back for the bind. And this is always interesting. The more complicated the postures are in terms of like multiple directions of the spine, multiple directions of hips or shoulders, take a couple of breaths to explore what it's like to shift body weight a little bit, to bring a little more weight into the hand through the foot, to lift up out of the left shoulder. And you're probably going to find a sweet spot that's going to help you to access particular areas for you in your body. And then we hold that. And maybe it isn't even quote unquote the most comfortable position, but what I mean by sweet spot is that you feel like the posture is giving you something, like there's like juice there for you. So it doesn't always have to be this kind of rigid feeling when we're in postures. Sometimes a little bit of adjusting, connected with the breath, can be pretty profound for us. And release that mind. Find your way back into downward facing dog. Observe. And then we'll bring knees down and we'll sit in between the feet now in VIgorous. So remember, we want the hips supported by something. So block bolster, combination of props if the hips don't touch the floor. Okay, and then once we have this position here, instead of alternating swimmers, we're going to do the same movement, but we're going to do both arms at the same direction. So this gives a little bit different of a sensation and work for the joint when you're working both with internal rotation of both shoulders and both external rotation of both shoulders. So we're doing this to mix things up a little bit and work with the joint in a different way. So let's start with both arms up alongside the ears here. With both arms going into this rotation here, checking with your lower front rib cage, kind of like we do in our side stretching, anytime the arms are overhead. There's restriction in the shoulders, we're going to want to compensate in our spine. So be aware of that. Maybe the arms don't go back as far, but at least you're being honest about where the boundary is in your shoulder. Now bend the elbows. Arms should be pretty close to the ears here and not splayed out. It's another way that oftentimes we might compensate for lack of flexion in the joint. And then next inhale, sweep the arms to the side. Take both arms here underneath. Now we've got that internal rotation. And then if you're pretty far where your arms or hands are along your spine, you're going to alternate. What you will alternate is which palm is free. So whatever back of the hand is touching the spine, you're going to switch every time you do this. So inhale, arms up, rotate from the shoulder joint, and then hands to shoulder blades, check in with rib cage. Inhale, sweep arms to the side and down, internally rotate, switch whichever hand is touching your spine, and go back and forth. Let the repetition of the movement free the joint up. Don't force anything. And really get a feel of that rotation and then that flexion in the shoulder joint. Right? Rotating, rotating, rotating until I get that internal rotation. Sweeping up, rotating, 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 rotating. Do that a couple more times. We're strengthening the joint and creating space. So we're strengthening the joint and creating space. Last one. And we'll come up onto all fours to getting props off to the side. Take downward facing dog, we extension back in the legs, first flexion back in the ankle joint. We'll come forward into the top of a push-up, lower all the way down to the floor. Lift chest up just enough to lengthen the navel, bring flat of the belly down, cross the wrist, place chin on cross wrist, legs close together, big toes touch but heels fall away from each other. That lower back curve settle in, relax any tension around legs and hips, conscious breathing. And then we'll get the legs back together again, bend both knees, do sweeping circles with the feet. Keep the neck turned off, so trying to engage the neck muscles as you're doing this movement and breathing in. Reverse the direction of the rotation. Tops of the feet to the floor, about hip width distance apart. Interlock fingers over hips. And then once you have the bind with the hands, locust pose, engage glutes to lift feet up. Strong back to lift heart, strong shoulders to peel the front of the shoulders away from each other. Down, arms alongside the body, palms up, left ear to the floor. Relax arms, legs, hips, and shoulders completely. Next, inhale, lift heart and head up. Turn your head to the other side and lower down. And next, inhale, lift heart and head up, chin back to center. Hands under shoulders, scroll toes under, push chest and belly away from the floor. Hips are back, bring forearms down. You either move toward a wall from here if you need a wall behind you for a headstand. You can also work on a one-legged dolphin pose if you're working on some mat work. 4 or 5 breaths of each leg and rest in between if you need to. If you're up and staying up in headstand, anywhere between 7 to 10 full breaths. Take your time to set yourself up. Really have those chest and back muscles fired up. No breath retention. Take your time, don't rush. Any dizziness when you come out of that inversion, you're gonna Rest in child's pose, otherwise come to a seated upright position. And keep the gaze at one point externally or with the eyes closed. Take a few resting breaths and feel the sensations from the skull all the way down the spine to the base of your pelvis. We'll meet back on the mat. Move your mat toward a wall, come back to your original place in the room. And then we're going to set up in half Hanuman pose. This is another one where you might want the back knee supported under a blanket or doubled up mat. Let's take left foot forward, right foot's going to be back, right hip over right knee. You can have the front knee bent a little bit if it helps you to settle into the crease of the left hip a little bit more. Have the support of your upper half of the body through your arms, fingertips or palms on the floor or block, and forward fold over the front leg. Get in if you're, if you're just setting yourself up. Make sure you get in at least good 4 to 5 full breaths in half Hanuman pose. We're going to be doing a sequence on this side, so you'll be able to follow suit. So don't feel rushed. Get 4 to 5 breaths in there. We're going to then sink into a lunge. We're going to take revolving side angle. I want you to keep the knee down though with the back leg. Don't straighten the leg and engage it. Keep it relaxed. Right? But make sure this left hip doesn't lift up too much. You want to settle down into the left hip, then sink the hip, then take the twist, right arm bracing against the thigh, press the palms together, stack the elbows. So I want you to really feel like you're sinking down at the base of your pelvis. You might not even feel like you're in your deepest quote unquote like lunge, right? But you've got that sinking of the pelvis, lengthening of the torso, and then the twist from the waist here. And then next inhale, we come out of the twist, so about 4 breaths in that twist once it's set up. And then we'll start to take the left heel forward. So left leg straightens again. When we take the left foot forward, you can work toward Hanuman pose or full split. Body weight and gravity play out here, so you're not creating tension in the hip. We're allowing space to be created. After those 4, maybe 5 breaths, then we engage the deep muscles in the hips to slide the left foot back. And then we're going to switch sides. We do that same sequence on the second side. Half Hanuman poses first. Yeah, you might be at a different pace than me, that's okay. I want you to make sure you get settled in, make your minor adjustments, get your 4 to 5 full breaths in with each shape. Half Hanuman pose, shoulders are squared off toward the floor, spine in line with the inside of the front leg. Twisting is next. Remember, we want to feel that grounded sensation in the right hip. And as we sink deep, deep, deep into the lunge, we start to compensate Want to make sure hips feel pretty even, then sink into the hip, and then twist. May not feel a super, super deep stretch in the front of your thigh and hip when you make that adjustment. That's okay. Access what's going on here in the right hip and lower back area, glutes, in addition to the twisting action. After those 4 to 5 breaths in the twist, then for full splits, Hanuman pose. No rush. Once we get that right foot back, we'll meet up in a seated position with the legs in front. The legs in front. And then, a lot of you know what we're working toward. Ekapada Koundinyasana. We're going to take phases to get ourselves into each of these components of either availability in the body, mobility, flexibility, and then strengthening. And think about strengthening components too, not just because you're holding your body weight up or you're in the arm balance. Think about from this internal place of the muscles along your spine, core muscles in your rib cage, core muscles in the back, shoulder girdle area, maintaining the shape, not from something external, but from those core muscles. So that is also a very important strengthening component that you want to be aware of when we're working on these more like complicated, kind of fun postures that we want to work with. So that first step, once your legs are extended, legs are close together, and we're only bending the knees as much as we need to get the soles of the feet to the floor. It's a good place to start. I'll still be in my frame here. Slight angle. Twist towards your left, right at the pit of the navel. We brought a lot of attention there today. And then we take either arm around the front of the shin like so, or to the outside of the leg. Use your back arm or the free arm for support of lengthening the torso. This is an example of how we're using an external source to strengthen, right? So eventually we're going to let that go. Right arm is another example of an external source that's helping us to maintain the twist. So left arm is helping us to lengthen, right arm is helping us to twist. And that's fine for now, because we want to bring the body into a shape, and that external sensation, external support here can help us to do that. You can stay right here if you'd like. And as we start to shift our body weight, these two arms are going to be doing very different things, so we need to really rely more on the core muscles now to maintain this shape. If you can go a little further into flexion in the hip, and then get that upper arm a little closer to the knee, not on the knee, just above the knee on the thigh. A pretty good position here. Take this next step. Hands a little wider than your shoulders. Left elbow tucks into your left rib cage because you can use that for support. Bend the knees a little bit more on your right top leg to help lift your hip up. Bend elbows symmetrically. Lift the left foot up. Still have the right toe on the floor. Eventually right foot lifts up. Very last thing is to extend the legs out away from each other. Four easy steps. Take the body Koundinyasana. Give it your old college try on that side. And then we'll switch. Set yourself up from the beginning. Bend knees just enough to bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Twist toward your right. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Use your back arms. So use the external sources of your arms to help find whatever boundaries you're working with that you want to explore. If you feel like your breath becomes short or erratic and you can't regain a fluid breathing pattern, you're going too far. It's one thing to kind of shimmy yourself into something and then the breath gets a little short at first, but you need to be able to regain a fluid, steady breath again. And you get that upper left arm and side of the leg in contact, right? You got pretty good pressure there. Then you can start to shift into that next phase. Wrist a little wider than shoulders, right elbow tucked into rib cage. Shift the body weight. One toe can stay down as you start to kind of manage your balance. Eventually that one last toe is going to lift up. Stay there if this is where you feel like you're finding stability. It's new. Don't worry about extending the legs until the very, very end. On that side, we're going to meet up flat on the back and Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, heels close toward the hips. Make minor adjustments in hips and lower back. You can also support the legs evenly with blocks. Arms alongside the body at a slight angle with palms up. Or if it's comfortable enough for the shoulders, arms can grab opposite elbows above the head. Follow the breath into the body and notice how your body responds to the breath at that point. And take about another 30 seconds here to settle in, get comfy. As much as you can, letting go of gripping where you feel any tension in the body. Hips, shoulders, navel. Arms can flow back alongside the rib cage if they're above your head. Slowly move the feet away from the hips. Once the legs are straight, then bend both knees and get the soles of the feet mat width distance apart and arms to a T formation with your palms up. Windshield wipers next. Knees to the right on the exhale. Turn your head to the left. Back to center with knees and chin as you're breathing in, and then off to the other side on the exhale. Go back and forth. Take your time. Connect your breath with your movement. And pause at the top and center as you follow through with your inhale. One more to the right and one more to the left with the knees. As you come back to center from the last round, get your feet in about hip width distance apart, heels pretty close to the hips without touching, about palms width away, feet parallel, and then make adjustments in the upper back so that you feel like your body weight is going to be supported by your shoulders as you take the hips up into a simple bridge. Now you can interlock your fingers underneath the hips if you'd like. You can also just keep the arms alongside the body with the palms up or down. Whatever feels good to give you a pretty comfortable position without putting tons of effort into the shape. We want to bring our bodies here into extension of the legs, a little openness in the hip and the navel, to bring some further compensation from a lot of the twisting and forward folding that we did today. And we're going to lower the spine down. Take a few moments to assess your physical body. If there's any other simple posture or movement you feel would bring further compensation into the joints or muscles, please take a moment to do that for yourself. We're going to meet up in corpse pose from there. You can get yourself ready. If you put on another layer of clothes to maintain body temperature, you set yourself up, anything over the eyes or under the knees. And take your time to set yourself up. You do start to find your comfortable, neutral position. Make those minor adjustments. Take the first few breaths to settle into the shape, letting go any tension around eyes, jaw, and navel. And allow all the muscles in the bones to give into gravity. All the muscles in the bones give into gravity. As the mind and your attention settle into Shavasana, you're drawing your attention inward. The sound or the feeling of the breath to tune into. And remind yourself the time that we have here in corpse pose. There's nothing to do, and there's nowhere else to be. There's nothing to do, there's nowhere else to be. And let that concept settle into every cell, every tissue in your body. Let the concept create movement, fingers, toes, ankles and wrists. Taking deeper breaths in. Getting more aware of the space and the sounds around you. Eventually finding your way back up to a comfortable seated position, where you may want the hips a little higher than the knees. Some breath work and concentration. Settle in. You can choose a mudra that works for you. So locked fingers, thumbs touching, first finger and thumb together, palms up. And start to focus on the physical sensation of the breath, moving through the nose and start bringing attention to two particular points. As you're breathing in, following the breath through the nostrils, take your attention to the center of the brain. As you exhale, as you follow the breath out of the nostrils, you take your attention to this point below the nostrils, about the height of your collarbones. This is where your individual prana and cosmic prana merge. Allow the breath at this point to feel natural, lengthening perhaps on its own just by bringing attention to the breath. We'll add a short pause at the end of the inhale and exhale, just for a couple seconds at this point, to establish that break between the inhale and the exhale, and to give us a moment to rest our attention at those two particular points, center of the brain during the internal breath retention, and space below the nostrils in front of the collarbones during the external breath retention. And we start to establish the pattern for alternating nostrils. Next inhale, focus on the breath moving through your left nostril, center of the brain. Take that pause before shifting your attention to the right nostril on the exhale, space below the nostrils. Take the pause. Keep the attention on the right nostril and then center of the brain. Next breath in. And then we shift back over to the left for the next exhale, and space below the nostrils. Add the pause. Establish that pattern within your mind and observe the sensations along the way. Left, right, right, left. 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out, and anywhere between 2 to 6 seconds for the breath retention. Keeping the breath retention comfortable and a count that you can sustain for the next 4 minutes. Keep your shoulders relaxed while sitting up tall without feeling rigid. Finish your last round. You'll be exhaling with your awareness on the left nostril and letting your attention then rest at the space below the nostrils and resume a natural breathing pattern from there. two particular points and establish a pathway from the space below the nostrils. As we breathe in through the nostrils, past the center of the brain, down the midline of the body to the space deep in the center of your body, behind the belly button at the pit of your navel. And as you exhale, you take your attention up the midline, past the center of the brain, out through the nostrils again, and back to the space in front of your collarbones. Drawing your attention between those 2 points along that pathway. As you inhale through the nostrils, past center of the brain, pit of the navel. And as you exhale, pit of the navel, up towards center of the brain, back out through the nostrils, and to the space in front of the collarbones. Pick up on any subtle sensations along the way, the physical sensation of your breath, and perhaps colors or images might appear as you're doing this exercise. And if that occurs, acknowledge anything that might arise and continue the practice without attachment to any of those images or colors. Even if they continue to reappear or establish themselves, acknowledge them and continue observing the experience. Next time your attention is there at the pit of the navel, your attention rests there. Continue to breathe naturally. And slowly take our attention out to the periphery of the body. Focusing first there, any sensations, letting our attention drift through the abdominal area. Our attention through all the digestive organs, the liver, the spleen, the large intestine, small intestine, the stomach, pancreas. Consider bringing your awareness to the front, back, and sides of the body. Continue through the body, get down toward the hips and up toward the chest. Moving through the reproductive organs, the lungs, the heart. Consider all the muscles, even the space within the cavities of the body, and the space in the joints as we get into the shoulders and hips. Move our way down toward the elbows and the knees, up toward the throat, down toward the ankles, toward the wrist joints, and up into the skull, the brain, eyes, the ears, the tongue. All the way to the palms, attention that every cell, every tissue is charged with vital life force. Is stable and vibrant. And the next breath in, take your attention slightly beyond the physical body. We might become aware of space or sounds around us. As we exhale, feel the support of the floor underneath you. Notice your body weight settle into your spine and into your hips. We'll bring the palms together in front of the heart center. And we ask and trust. Oops, sorry. We take a few moments for reflection and gratitude. Anything that moves through our hearts and our minds. And to acknowledge, give thanks for, and send out a thought or prayer. And we'll steal the practice by chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May all beings, without one exception, know peace and be released from suffering. So it is, and so it shall be. So open the eyes. Take your time getting up. You can even sit for a little longer, or you can lie back and take a few moments for observation and absorption. Great having you out there practicing with me. Thanks for joining me here in Red Rock. It's really gorgeous here. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to keep these classes up no matter where I'm at. And keep in mind, you too can continue to practice with us no matter where you're at with these online classes. So